How's it going out there, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are. And welcome to the Psycho Nerd Podcast. This is officially my second podcast that I'm creating. And no, I'm not going to say that every single time I create a podcast, but considering the headache that I went through to get my first one up and running, it feels good that I'm finally filming my second one. It's a pretty good feeling, personally. Now, my last podcast, I talked about the Elimination Chamber from so many weeks ago and my thoughts and predictions. But today I'm going to talk about video games. More specifically, I'm sure a lot of Nintendo fans out there knew that we were going to get a direct here in a few days promoting the new Nintendo Switch 2 from the announcement that dropped a few months ago. I'm pretty excited. I want to see what they're going to come up with or what they're going to display, showcase, whatever. But Nintendo decided to drop another random direct on us a few days ago, I think on the 27th to be exact. Didn't know it was coming, didn't know anything about this. It just kind of happened. I woke up and I saw a notification on my phone about one of the YouTubers I've subscribed to was doing a live reaction. And I'm just like, what? Really? Another direct a week before the one we were already waiting for? What the hell? So, yeah, it kind of came out of left field. So, I thought it'd be fun to talk about all the games that were actually displayed at this particular direct and just kind of talk about the ones that I am looking forward to versus the ones that I probably will not play. So, without further ado, welcome to the podcast and let's talk about it.
All right, let's get into it.
Now, if you recognized any of those sound effects, you're cool and we can be friends. So, the Nintendo Direct or the Impromptu Direct. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through, as I said, I'm just going to run through all the different games that were announced and whether or not it's something I'm interested in or I'm going to take a pass. The first thing they started with was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, which is supposed to release sometime in 2025. I feel like they announced this one before. It feels like I want to say I've seen this trailer before. I don't remember every single game that's announced in all the previous directs, but I feel like this is not something we've seen we're not seeing this for the first time. Now, I'm not the biggest RPG fan personally in the game realm, but I mean, this game does look interesting with the updated graphics. It does look pretty nice. I'm not going to say I would never play it, but it will not be something that I'm going to pick up at the time that it comes out. I feel like maybe later in life I might actually get into RPGs, but as of right now, I only occasionally dabble. So, I mean, I'll say never. Who knows? Next up is a game from a series I'm not too familiar with. It's from AI, the Somnium Files. Not familiar with this one. It's called No Sleep or Kaname Date, I think that's how they pronounce it. I don't fully understand. I've seen the preview for it a couple of times. Essentially, you're looking for a person named Iris. You're trying to search for her. So it's kind of like a puzzle game. You're running around. You're searching around, trying to solve puzzles, trying to figure out how to find her. And apparently, the character has an AI that's hidden in one of his. It's in one of his eyes or something like that. I don't know. It looks interesting, but it's not something I'm familiar with. I would like to try a demo or something like that. I would like to at least try the game before I actually play it. Not something I would pick up on day one, but something I would be interested in down the road if I at least got some hands-on game time with it. And the release date on this one is supposed to be 7/25 of this year. Next up is another remastered game, Rydell. I think that's how I pronounce it. Rydell, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Again, I'm not familiar with this game, but apparently this guy is like a detective, like an apprentice detective, and a demon summoner. So essentially, the whole game is you going around trying to solve different cases and whatnot. You have all these different demons at your disposal that you can use to help you out in different situations while you're trying to solve cases. So, and there are also like boss fights you can do where you can summon your demons to help you out. You know, it talks about how you need cooperation in order to be able to win the fights and whatnot. And then in some cases, you can actually summon demons that you defeat to work alongside with you. I don't know. Again, I know nothing about this, but again, this looks really intriguing to me. I feel like I would want to play a demo. before I actually would go out and buy something like this. I would love to get some hands on with it and see if it's something I wouldn't mind trying. So this one's kind of a mixed feeling, a maybe. Yeah, just a maybe for now. And this one will actually release on 6/19 of 2025 if I'm reading my handwriting correctly. Now we have our first game that really caught my eye at this direct that I really do want to check out. It's called Shadow Labyrinth and it's made by Namco. So you're some random person who has lost their memory. They end up being transported onto a random planet and come into contact with this character that floats around that's basically a floating yellow orb named Puck. Basically, this game is kind of a darker twist on the original Pac-Man character. So essentially, you have this character floating around with you and helping you out while you're exploring this, as they describe it, maze-like world. It looks like a new Metroidvania style game. You're basically going around doing a lot of exploring. Apparently, Puck can help you access different areas where he'll be crawling along different walls and stuff like that. And it looks like he's collecting pellets along the way in some little scenes that they show. And then apparently, when you're fighting certain enemies and bosses and whatnot, you can actually combine with Puck to make yourself this, like, I forgot what they called it. It was like Gaija, something like that, so that you can fight the enemies and make yourself stronger. I'm not gonna lie, I like this. This looks like fun. I am a Metroidvania fan. Most recently, I've been playing Hollow Knight. Haven't beaten it yet, but I do enjoy these types of games very much. So this one I will definitely be picking up. If not on the actual day of release, sometime soon, maybe around the holidays. I'm not too sure because it said it was supposed to come out on 7/18 of this year. So definitely going to pick this one up at some point for sure. The next game I've never heard of, and quite frankly, I don't fully understand it. It's called Patapon 1 and 2 Replay. Another, I don't know if I call this like a remastered edition, but they're taking two existing games and just smashing them together and I think doing a few different upgrades. But as best I can understand it, you're controlling an army, you have different button combinations. Excuse me, different button combinations that you tap in specific order to the like a beat of a drum or something like that. And every different button combination commands your army to do different things, whether it's move forward. I think there was one about retreating, you attack different creatures or other armies, doing certain things, you can string combos. I don't fully understand this one, and this is not my cup of tea. Honestly, I maybe if I play a demo at some point, maybe I can kind of practice with it, get into it. But this one, I think I'm going to be passing on for now. Not too interested in this one. But for anyone who is interested, it does come out on the 11th of July of this year. I don't have too much interest in the next game they talked about, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. It's being referenced as a farming sim, which kind of reminds me of Animal Crossing a little bit, which I've actually never played. Basically, you are a farmer and you're growing all these crops, dealing with all these animals, and then you take all the things that you've accumulated, you go to the town and you're trying to sell stuff. The more stuff you sell, the more you're helping the town overall. I mean, I could see this being interesting for like kids or something like that, but for me, I don't know if this is my cup of tea at all. I don't see trying this game out. I have no interest in it. This one does not intrigue me at all. It seems like it'd be kind of a very relaxed but yet boring game at the same time, but who knows? And this one comes out August 27th of this year. The next up was a game that I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm going to save it for last. Anyone who saw the direct, you probably know what I'm talking about. The next one after that, something called Disney Villains Cursed Cafe. This one is a hard pass for me. This one, I'm not intrigued at all. Essentially, you're like a barista, but there's a specific term they used. Essentially, you are serving up different types of drinks and concoctions to different Disney villains. I have no interest in this whatsoever. If it's something you're interested in, God bless. But for me, hard pass. I am not interested in this at all. It's already currently available. It was available the day of the actual direct originally. Next up, we have a game called Witchbrook. Essentially, you are an apprentice at a magic school, not Hogwarts. It's not Hogwarts, but essentially you're going inside of a school, trying to learn how to do different spells, trying to be a spellbinder, stuff like that. And then in between classes and learning stuff, you actually can, travel outside the school and go visit the outside town. The idea of this almost reminds me of Bully a little bit. For anyone who ever played Bully, the idea that you go and do different classes, but then you're allowed to go outside the school and explore different areas and get and do different things as well. This one I'm sure won't be as violent as Bully, but I feel like that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this. I don't mind so much the graphical style being used here. It's kind of pixelated, but I do like it. So I don't know. This one's a maybe for me. Something that I could probably try down the road. It comes out holiday of this year. I would love to get my hands on a demo and try it out. I'll keep my eyes open on this one. Maybe I could something I could play with my son, perhaps. Next up, we have a platforming game that actually looks pretty interesting to me. The Eternal Life of Goldman. Apparently, they're using hand-drawn animation, kind of like I think that's what they did with Cuphead, if I remember correctly. I do like the animation style. It's an action platformer, and it looks interesting as all hell. And this character that you're controlling has like a magical cane, and he can actually upgrade the cane with different abilities. And at one point, it shows him pogoing off different enemies in unison. Reminds me of DuckTales so much, and that's such a fun game too. This was a pretty brief review. Matter of fact, the next couple of games at this point, I think the next four were like really, really quick reviews. Not much to them, so they're not giving us too much. But I definitely like the way this one looks. I'm intrigued by this. Definitely want to check this one out, which comes out holiday of this year. Next up, we've got Konami celebrating their 40th anniversary of Gradius by putting out a compilation, Gradius Origins. In this, you're going to have Gradius 1, 2, and 3. You got Life Force, and then something called Salamander. I feel like I've played it before, but I don't remember the title. You're going to have Salamander 1, Salamander 2, and apparently they made a Salamander 3 specifically for this collection. So that's a pretty good handful of shmup games to get through. If you're a fan of these games, I could see this being a pretty sweet thing to pick up. Unfortunately for me, I'm not the best at shmups, especially these. I usually play these games long enough, die a few times. I finally learn how to pick up the power-ups. I get a little leeway, and then I die, realize I lost all my power-ups, and I'm like, I don't want to play no more. So yeah, I'm not the best at these games. I don't know if I'm going to pick this one up or not. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It depends on what the price tag is, and this one will actually come out in August 7th of this year. Okay, so the next game that they showed, I'm not too sure what I think of it just yet. Rift of the Necro Dancer. Another rhythm-based game. I think this is from the same franchise that the Cadence of Hyrule game came from, and there was another game before that where you have to push the buttons to the beat in order to play the actual game. This one is different. This one has like a player board that's very similar to Guitar Hero. You have to, you got notes coming down or different things, enemies and whatnot, and you have to push the buttons to the rhythm to take them out. Again, they only showed a few seconds of it. I'm not sure what I think of it so far. It looks interesting. It looks like it could be fun. There's also different levels. There's mini games, stuff like that. So again, I'm hoping they'll give us more details on this one as time goes on, but unfortunately, I don't think they will because this one is already available. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go on the Switch and see if there's any kind of a demo available for this because I might like it. Who knows? Now, the next game I have zero desire to play. Tamaguchi Plaza. As far as I know, this game has already existed. I might have heard it wrong. I don't know anything about this franchise, and quite frankly, after watching the trailer for it, definitely not my cup of tea. This is not something I want to play. I can't even explain what it is. I don't really understand what I watched it twice and I'm like, I still don't get it. You're just a random character. You're walking around, you're doing different things, you're buying clothing, you're talking to other characters. I don't know. Kind of comes off as boring to me. If this is something that you're into, then that's cool. No big deal. I definitely don't like knocking people for what they like, but definitely not for me. But for anyone who is interested, it'll be coming out in June of this year, the 27th of June to be exact. Now, for the next game, full disclosure, I am not a Pokemon fan. I've actually never taken the time to play any of the Pokemon games. Maybe down the road I might, because I know I have access to a bunch of them. Currently, I just never bothered to try. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't hate on the series or anything. I've just never bothered to try one. But I am quite familiar with the series. And there's a new game that's coming out based off Pokemon. It's Pokemon Legends ZA, which it's again, I don't know too much about this kind of stuff, but essentially you're just kind of walking around, training your Pokemon during the day. But apparently at night, the city is kind of that you're playing through turns into a series of battle zones, so to speak, and you'll be battling against different people and whatnot. So that's the most I can really say about this game. This is going to be another hard pass for me, mostly because I've just never played any of these games and it just doesn't intrigue me too much, but that's just me. And now, no exact date for this one. It says it comes out late 2025, which probably means the holiday season. Up next, we have another rhythm based game. Seriously, what is it with this direct and all the rhythm based games? Seriously, it's insane. I don't really know what else to say. It's an existing franchise. It's called Rhythm Heaven Groove. Doesn't come out until next year apparently, so I guess they're just kind of getting the word out early. I mean, what can I say? It's a series of mini games. You got music playing in the background to kind of help you out with the beats. You got to hit buttons at the appropriate time. So yeah, what else can I possibly say about it? You know. I mean, it looks fun, looks interesting for what it is. You know, I'll definitely look into it as time goes on. I'm sure they'll give us more details down the road since it's not coming out for well over a year from now. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I am interested. Now, what's interesting is that the next thing they actually show is not an actual video game, but an extra, what would you call it, feature on the Nintendo Switch going forward, and it's called Virtual Game Cards. So, for anyone who likes to download their video games off the eShop instead of buying the buying the physical media, which is something I like to do, apparently, when you download your games from now, you have the ability to actually transfer your games like an actual cartridge between one Switch system to another. Let's say you have a Switch that like a regular one, but then you have like a Switch Lite. So you can actually transfer the virtual game cartridge from one Switch to the other and then back and forth. You can actually have multiple games on each one and just swap them out whenever you want instead of having to, take the cartridge out of one and put it in the other. So this is actually interesting. I'm surprised they hadn't thought of something like this sooner. Now, for somebody like me who likes to have physical media, this wouldn't really do much for me, but I can see the benefit for other people, especially parents who, don't want to have to deal with the process of little kids losing their cartridges because they're pretty small. It's easy to lose these things, I would think. So, they don't have to worry about their kids screaming about, I can't find my game. Well, where'd you last have it? I don't know. And, they don't have to go through none of that crap. And also, if you want to lend out your games to other people, you can actually do that, and you can do it for up to 14 days. And after that 14-day period, the game, the virtual game card, I keep forgetting the name of it, will actually automatically come back to your Switch where it started from originally. This is very interesting, and I can see the benefit of it. So yeah, and that's actually going to start in late April. So it's already right around the corner when this is going to start happening. Now, for the next six games, or excuse me, next five games, there's really not much to talk about because each game was kind of showcased together. They showed like a montage of all the different games and then they introduced each one, but only for about maybe 5 to 8 seconds, give or take. So there's really not much to talk about. You got High on Life, which is a first person shooter. That one comes out May 6th. The only thing about this one that stood out was the gun that the person was using in the game has these different faces attached to the back that's facing towards you. I don't know, look kind of weird. You've got Star Overdrive, which looks like an open world sandbox game. The only thing about this game that stood out that your character has what looks like a hovercraft, almost like a surfboard kind of thing going on to get around different areas. That's the only thing about that game that really stood out. And it's coming out soon. It actually comes out the 10th of April, so we're right around the corner. On July 17th, we've got The Wandering Village. You got this big ass dinosaur just kind of walking around, and it's got a full village on its back. Yeah, that looks interesting. You've got King of Meat coming out sometime in 2025, which from what I can tell is like a four player, it's like a multiplayer battle type of game, kind of like the battle mode in GoldenEye and a bunch of other games over the years. That's what I get from that. Lose Lagoon, which is advertised as coming out summer 2025. I don't know. Again, it looks almost like a sandbox kind of game or like a platforming with you climbing up vines to get to different places. You're flying through a plane, going through rings and whatnot. Oh God, not like Superman 64. Let's not do that again. There's even one scene where it looks like you're on some kind of a minecart. So I don't know. A lot of different things going on in this game too. And the last game featured in this little montage is a mouthful: Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. Very lengthy title. This one almost looks like another one of those sim kind of games because you can see you're going and creating different things along the way, and there's like a really big island to explore, apparently. And there are some fights against animals and creatures and whatnot. So yeah, like there's not a whole lot to go on with any of these games, but some of them do actually interest me. Like I'd say Star Overdrive looks interesting, King of Meat kind of looks interesting, Lose Lagoon maybe. I don't know about the rest of them though. I would have to look them up and get more details. And as it turns out, I was right the first time. At the beginning, I specified that there were 6 games in the montage, but then I said no, there were 5. Nope, I was right the first time. There were 6. I was right, so yay me. And now we have another HD remake in Saga Frontier 2, another RPG HD remake. I'm starting to think that the main theme of this whole entire direct has mostly been rhythm and remakes, HD remakes, because wow. It doesn't seem like we've gotten a whole lot of like quote unquote new games being displayed as opposed to get older games that are being given like a facelift or whatever. I'm sure that would rub some people the wrong way, but it is what it is. It just means for me personally, there's only like a 4 more games to talk about after this one. It just means that this direct overall was just a little bit on the lackluster side. There are a few games that sparked my interest, but it wasn't like 50% of the direct I was just like going crazy, like oh my god, holy shit, nothing to make me want to get super excited about outside of the one that I'm saving for last. But I digress. Saga Frontier 2 comes out. Crap. Oh, you know what? My bad. It's already available. My bad. Another RPG, hard pass. I have no interest. Yeah, moving along. And guess what's up next? Yeah, if you guessed another compilation, you would be correct. We're taking a couple of older games that I've never heard of called Monument Valley 1 and 2, and we're putting these together on one cartridge. I've never heard of these games before, but the way the game looks, it's an isometric puzzle game, and the only game that it's reminiscent of to me is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, which I was a big fan of that game. I played the hell out of it when it came out on the Switch. I never played it on the Wii U, but because I enjoyed that game's isometric viewing, being able to move the puzzle left and right and everything, kind of makes me feel like this game could be intriguing. The only thing here is that it doesn't look as interesting or as colorful as Treasure Tracker, but I don't know. I want to see if there's any way I can try it out before the game actually comes out, or the games I should say comes out. Which another one that's right around the corner actually comes out on the 15th of April. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of looking around for demos on the Switch in the upcoming days, just to kind of see if any of this stuff is available to try out. And apparently, there's a third game coming out in the summer of 2025. So if you liked Monument Valley, you've got a lot of bang for your buck. You got 3 different games to play through. Next up, we have a golf game, and no, it's not a Mario Golf game, not another one of those. Apparently, this is everybody's golf Hot Shots. Yeah, remember the Hot Shots franchise from way back when? I vaguely remember playing these games back on the PlayStation 2, or was it PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1? I can't remember, but I do remember playing these games. And I'm not the biggest golf fan in the world, but if you try to go out of your way to make golf a little bit extra fun, I could play it for a little while and kind of get behind it. Maybe if you get a group of people together, we could play it, have some fun. But I'm just not the biggest golf guy. But the fact that it's Hot Shots, a franchise that I'm familiar with, means that I'm mixed. I don't know. Maybe if somebody has this game, I can try it out down the road, but I don't think it's something I'll ever own. So, and it's another game that doesn't have a definite time frame. It just has 2025. So, sometime this year it's coming out. And now, now we've got Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I'm not gonna lie. I am actually really excited for this game. It is essentially a beat 'em up in the style of the classic beat 'em ups from the 90s, and it's done by the same people who, as far as I know, the same people who did Shredder's Revenge that came out, I think about a year or so ago, year and a half ago, which I've played. Is a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this. A freaking beat 'em up game using Marvel characters. That sounds like fun, and I don't know if all the characters they showed in this brief little thing, if it's all the characters that we have access to, or they're only showing us some of them. Because you got Captain America, you got Storm, you got Wolverine, Spider-Man, Venom, and there was a couple of others that I didn't recognize. I thought I won't speculate on who they are just in case I'm wrong and everyone just kind of ridicules me for it, because I'm not, I mean, I am a Marvel fan, but I'm not a comic book Marvel fan. I've never really read comic books, so I don't know all the damn characters that exist. Shame on me, but it is what it is. Hey, I grew up loving Star Wars and Star Trek. Give me a break. But no, I am super excited for this game. It comes out, they just say holiday 2025. So I'm thinking probably November, if not December. But hopefully we get an actual release date sometime soon. But super psyched. Can't wait to play it. If I have the money, I will probably get it on day one. This will be fun. And if I'm going to be completely frank, I was a little disappointed on the last game that was featured. It is a new game that's coming out in 2026. So we got a whole year before it ever happens. Tamaduchi, am I pronouncing that right? Tamaduchi, I think. Tamaduchi Life. You know what? I don't know what to say about this. I don't know anything about this franchise. I'm not excited for it. This is going to be a hard pass for me. And they don't really show a whole lot of anything. They just show random clips of various what look like a bunch of me characters on this island doing various activities. Two guys are fighting, one guy's doing like breakdancing, and at the end of it, there's two people that look like they're standing close to each other, but then one of them walks up closer to the one on the left, and it turns out she's like super, super big and tall, almost like the size of the freaking Marshmallow Man or something. So I have no idea what's going on in this presentation. I have no desire to play this. I know I don't have any other details outside of what I just said. So that officially does it for all the games that were featured during the Nintendo Direct, save for one. And for myself personally, I saved the best for last. Now, last year they had already announced that Metroid Prime 4 was finally coming to the Switch. Now, already hyped and pumped, ready for this game. Quite frankly, they could have gone the entire time frame between when it was announced officially, showing us game footage, up until the moment it was released. I would have been fine not seeing anything else about the game and just be completely surprised about everything going on in the game. Like, as far as I was concerned, as soon as they announced Metroid Prime 4, it was like, you know what? Here, Nintendo, take my money. Just take my money. I'm sold. I'm gonna buy this game. There is no question of it. I am a huge fucking Metroid fan. Yeah, I am so pumped for this. But they decided to give us a few more little tidbits to kind of, appeal to us, so to speak, to kind of increase our excitement, if you will. So apparently, this new planet that Samus is going to be on, apparently she's transported there by accident. As she's walking around, different things that's going to be happening. You have a whole different set of creatures that she'll be confronting. That is one thing I will say about Metroid Prime 1 and 2. Some of the enemies, the creatures that you came across, were in part 2. Some of them were rehashes of creatures from part 1. So far, everything they're showing us here, they all look like they're all created from the ground up. I could be wrong on that. They only showed us so much. But the few standout things about this, actually everything stands out, but the standout abilities that I can't help but talk about and get excited for, apparently on this planet, Samus is going to obtain, what was it? Psychic abilities. What the fuck? That's totally different from anything she's ever received. And I've played most of the games too. Matter of fact, I actually went through and started about a year and a half ago going through the entire Metroid timeline, and I made it all the way to Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which I'm having to play on my Wii U. Unfortunately, they haven't released Metroid Prime 2 or 3 on the Switch yet, which I was kind of hoping was going to be announced at this Direct, but oh well, hopefully they'll do it down the road, because Metroid Prime Remastered on the Switch was fucking awesome. They I really enjoyed it immensely, especially with the updated controls, and I can't wait for 2 and 3 to get the same treatment. But that's as far as I got on the marathon. That's about halfway through it. After seeing this, I'm probably going to hop back on that. But getting back to my point, Samus gets psychic powers. So using these powers, she can actually manipulate different things in the environment to solve puzzles. She can open doors with them. And apparently, she can use the ability to track her beam to go through multiple enemies. Like she'll shoot a beam and it'll actually follow her beam, almost like POV style. And you can control it so that it'll actually go through multiple enemies at once. Fuck! That sounds so fucking cool. I guess I saved all my f bombs for this part of the podcast, but as you can tell, I'm freaking excited. I can't wait. I've always been a big fan of Metroid, and at this point, I hope they don't show us anything else. I don't need anything else at this point. Oh, that's another thing. They still haven't given us a actual release date outside of 2025. I think they said holiday 2025, something like that. So they're still not giving us an actual date yet. Eh. Okay, well, at least we know it's coming. It's coming. So, like I said, Nintendo, here's my money. Take my money. Gimme, 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 gimme. And I'll tell you this right now, if they come out with a collector's edition box like what they did with Metroid Dread, which I do have, it's the crown jewel of my video game collection, and they did it for Tears of the Kingdom, and I want to say they probably did it for Breath of the Wild. If they do that, I am so getting one, without fail. If I don't get one, I'm going to be, well, life will go on, but I will be very disappointed. Very disappointed. But I digress. Metroid Prime 4, super excited. Can't fucking wait. Yeah, I will own that game. Cannot wait to play it. So there's only one other thing that was announced during this direct. All the games are out of the way at this point. So the last thing they talk about is an app for Apple and Android phones being referred to as Nintendo Today. Basically what this is, from what I'm understanding, is if you have the app, you download it to your phone, you'll get daily updates that pertain to Nintendo, whether it be games or characters. They do talk about how after the new Nintendo Direct happens in a few days, for the Switch 2, there will be updates about Switch 2 games as well. So that's pretty cool that we get little tidbits on a daily basis, just a little something to kind of wet our whistle, because they advertised how they've always given us directs to kind of give us news on what's going on. So essentially, this is like a more direct, again, using the word again, I'm not planning it, a more direct way of giving us little tidbits, little news from different things on a daily basis. So this is kind of cool for what it is. And I got to be honest, I kind of wish I had actually downloaded the app after it was available. It was available just a few hours after the direct hit. And I wish I would have downloaded it, because anyone who actually did, they were the first ones to get the great news. And the news being, we officially have a release date for the Legend of Zelda live action movie that was announced about a year ago. I cannot freaking wait for this. That is such a big deal. I mean, with the success of the Super Mario Brothers movie, I couldn't help but wonder and wish if they were finally going to give us a Zelda movie, or hell, even a Metroid movie. I've been wanting a Metroid movie for years. Remember a few years ago, a friend of mine from the theater that I used to work at, we actually came together and tried to write a Super Metroid script. We did write one, but nothing came from it, unfortunately. But anyway, I don't want to get too much into detail on that. But I have been wanting a Metroid movie and a Zelda movie for forever. But I kind of figured after Super Mario Brothers that might give Nintendo just a little bit of incentive to finally take two of their other more famous. Okay, let's be fair. Mario, Zelda, are pretty much their top franchises. And I know Metroid is not exactly on the top tier and with a lot of fans, but it's still a famous video game. And obviously, there's a lot of buzz with Metroid Prime 4. So why not make Metroid a movie? It's long overdue, guys. But I'm happy that we're at least getting Zelda. That's at least a step in the right direction. Now, it is coming out in 2 years' time, March 27 of 2027. I almost said 17, pardon me. And they're not giving us any details aside from the movies coming. We don't know who's going to play Link, who's going to play Zelda, who's going to play Ganondorf. We don't freaking know. We don't know which story they're going to go with. Are they going to create a brand new story for the movie? Are we going to get a classic game being turned into a movie like A Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time? What are we doing? We don't know. We don't know. We have no clue what's going on at this point. And I feel like, especially with this app, this Nintendo Today app, I get a feeling that over the course of the next year, we're gonna get little snippets from time to time, almost like water dripping from a faucet. Every so often, we're gonna get a little drip of information, just enough, just a little something here and there to get people excited and get people buzzed. I can't tell you how excited I am for this. 2 years is a long freaking time. There's no telling what will be in 2 years, but I'm looking forward to this and hearing details about this going forward. So yeah, that is the direct. That is it. Like I said, we do have another one here in just a few days. We'll finally find out what's going on with the Switch 2. Can only assume that they're going to talk about a bunch of new games that are going to be coming out. They're going to talk about the hardware, I assume, because for what I hear, there's some updates. I have pretty much ignored any and all theory videos that people have been doing for months and months. Their theories about what the Switch 2 is going to be like, talking about leaks. I didn't care about none of that stuff. Okay, I just want to wait until I hear directly from Nintendo what is going to happen, because until we do, everything else that's happened in the last few months, it's all speculation. I don't care about speculation. I care about cold, hard facts. That's what I want. So we're only a few days off. Who knows? As far as what I want from the direct, I don't know. I mean, we already know based on what we heard a few months ago, there is a new Mario Kart game coming out. So I'm kind of excited on what they're going to do for this. I'm hoping for a new 3D Mario game. It's long overdue. Didn't Odyssey come back or come out in 2017? We definitely need a new one at this point. I want Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker. I want those games on the Switch. That is long overdue. I want this to happen, mostly because I want my son to play Twilight Princess. I want him to play the HD version. It's just too expensive nowadays. $100 for a copy of the game? Yeah, no, that's not happening. And the other thing I want, Metroid Prime Remaster came out. It was awesome. The controls were great. The visuals were great. Where are Metroid Prime 2 and 3 for the Switch, Nintendo? When is this happening? This has to happen. Retro Studios, I know you have to be working on this. You have to. If you guys are working on it, then kudos. If you're not, what the fuck are you doing? Get on it. Finish Prime 4 and give us 2 and 3 on the Switch. That is long overdue. I cannot wait to play those games with the updated controls and updated visuals. So excited for that. Hell, why don't you guys give us a Metroid compilation of some of the like give us a Metroid 2D compilation, but then kind of upgrade the original game a little bit and give us some in-game map. That way it's a little bit better navigation or something like that. That would be awesome. And yes, I know they updated the original game. It's called Zero Mission. It's a badass game. I've played it. I've beaten it. It's friggin' awesome. But I still say the original game, I like to go back and play it from time to time. And I wish the game had a map, just an in-game map, just a very basic one. I'm just saying. I don't think it'd be that hard. But as far as again, trying to wrap this up for the direct, I've been rambling for a while. My overall rating of this is it's okay. I say it was fairly lackluster. There were a lot of different games that didn't interest me. There are a lot of HD remakes, like there's compilations. There's a lot of beat games going on. There's 3 different games that stood out for me that I'm really excited for. Shadow Labyrinth, that one looks interesting. Metroid Prime 4, obviously. I'm not going to go into detail on that again. And the Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This game looks so much fun. I cannot wait for this one to come out. There are a few others that I mentioned that do spark my interest a little bit. I'll do a little research as time goes on and see if we can learn more about them and see if there's something I want to play. But overall, I can't say it was terrible. It wasn't terrible, it just wasn't great. Not the best direct I ever saw, but at least you threw a few things out there to kind of entice me. So that works for what it is. But I could actually sit and try to do more predictions on what may happen at the direct, but I've already been rambling on for almost 40 minutes, so I feel like this is the point where I should just go ahead and cut it. We only have a few days away before the direct happens. We'll just see what happens. Hopefully we're pleasantly surprised. But in conclusion, thank you for anyone who did sit and listen to this podcast. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment. Feel free to send me an email if you have any ideas that I can do on here. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. And that email is thepsychonerdpodcast@yahoo.com. But thank you so very much again. Take care of yourselves, be safe, but don't forget to have fun. Just not too much fun.